Hello Internet, welcome to another episode of Ask Quantum Geek. And this week's question comes from Fadrina from Atlanta, Georgia. She's a 29-year-old single mom. Right, she writes, Dear Quantum Geek, I've had a series of bad relationships since I started dating in high school. Guys come into my life, use me for sex, and then leave. I was seeing somebody about 2 years ago and it seemed to be going well, and he promised to marry me after I fell pregnant with my daughter. He ran off a month before the wedding day. I had to cancel the wedding, recall expensive ass wedding invites, and everything after he stuck me with the bill. I feel like I want to give up on men and not ever date again. I've been single for 2 years now and I love my daughter more than anything in the world, and as angry as I am about the poor choices I've made in the past, I can't help but feel that I would like to actually give relationships a shot again. But I've been burned so many times, I don't want to take out my frustrations and anger from my past relationships with men to the next guy that I might actually meet or date in the future. To deal with my issues, I've chosen to abstain from sex until I find the right guy or he finds me. My friends think I'm wasting time and missing out. P.S. I don't think I could ever deal with a man sleeping with me and then leaving. Please advise. Whew, damn. Okay, Regina. Well, you know what, first of all, thank you for sharing your very personal, issue with me and the audience. I just want to really commend you on the courage and, congratulations, you have a daughter. Okay, but I know it's been obviously more than 2 years since you've had her, but nevertheless, a child is a blessing. Okay, but this douchebag, I can't believe that. I mean, who gets involved with somebody, right? You guys have a child together, you plan a wedding day, stuff is paid for and everything, and then he takes off a month before and leaves you with everything, Well, it's the way I see it, thank goodness, thank goodness is out of your life, because perhaps it was a blessing that he actually left you now rather than later or somewhere else, and at some point in your life where you might have actually really needed or depended upon him for something really important, okay? And sometimes God, the universe, or whatever you may want to call it, has a way of actually cleansing your life from all these parasitic individuals that come into your life to just drain and cause nothing but problems, okay? So I'm really sorry that you've had to endure that sort of humiliation, in front of your family, friends, his family, his friends, you just don't do that. You don't leave people at the altar, And, but okay, anyway. This video obviously is largely about the fact that you're abstaining, okay? But obviously it's not a permanent situation, otherwise that would be celibacy. Okay. Here's another thing that a lot of people actually tend to confuse, is that celibacy is when you choose to never ever be sexually involved with anybody or marry or be in a relationship, okay? But abstaining is more temporary. You're just temporarily holding off until things are right again, or until you find the right type of person, which I support you on 100%, Fadrina. Personally, I myself have been abstaining for about 4 years, okay? And I've never been happier. It has saved me from so many douchebags, well, not that many, because I don't really date that often, okay? But abstaining has a lot of pros. Okay, so those are some of the pros that you can actually avoid unnecessarily mental, emotional, and psychological stress, okay? The risk of catching an STI, very, very low if you're not having any sex at all, okay? And it's also a good way to filter out guys who really like you for you, okay? And you can always tell the ones who really just want to jump into your pants will disappear the first week, trust me, okay? Or they might try and come back later again and try and, just create another situation where you might have to jump into bed with him again, okay? But I suggest that you just keep resisting, stay strong, okay? You deserve the best, especially after what you've been through, okay? And your daughter also deserves to basically get a good stepdad, somebody who's going to look and love, look after and love, her and you, over a long-term period, or however long that next relationship may last, So, don't stress, don't listen too much, to your friends, okay? It's understandable that they actually want what's best for you. They want to see you happy. They want to see you getting out there, because people always think that, they always tend to associate sex with success, okay? So the more sex you have and the more successful you are, the more it appears that you're living life and you got everything together. But that's not always the case, abstaining is good, even though a lot of people might think it's old-fashioned and outdated. Trust me, what is popular is not always right, and what is right is not always popular, okay? You know what I'm saying? So you do what you feel is good for you and your daughter, okay? And when you are ready to meet the next guy, then trust that you're able to discern. You make him wait 3 to 6 months if you have to, okay? And you just see what type of a person he is. Be aware. I'm not saying don't over scrutinize or be over judgmental, but observe. On my case, okay, I'll share a personal incident where I actually waited, and this guy that I was dating, and I've actually decided to make a video about it because there's just too many of this type of douchebag. Anyway, I was dating this guy and I actually chose to abstain, and the first month took off, okay? Then he came back 6 months later, and I still waited. I didn't give it up, okay, because I figured that, okay, well, if you're gonna come back into my life, then I'm gonna start you back on square one, okay? I'm gonna make you wait and see if you can improve yourself, And after 2 months, oh man, I discovered so many bad and horrible things about this person, So I'm really glad, that I actually didn't give it up back then, and I didn't give it up right now. And I'm all the more happier for it, so I definitely support your decision to abstain, okay? And when you're ready, when you feel like, okay, this guy's basically ticked all the boxes, then go ahead, have as much sex as possible, break the abstinence period with a celebration, go on vacation somewhere really romantic, celebrate, because sex in and of itself is a very beautiful and layered experience. Okay, so it takes place on various levels, okay? So it's definitely something that should be reserved for that one and only, that really special guy, okay? And tragically, these days people tend to treat sex like it's takeaway food, You just, give that person that you want to have a go at, a call, hey, do you want to come over for a movie, then he'll go, or she will go get a pizza or something, and then one thing leads to another, you have sex, and then the following day you leave, or you leave that same night. No, it's so much more than that. It's so much more, so, but it's a shame that a lot of people actually don't really care, it's just gone, like hits and leave. And I just, yeah. Anyway, okay, so, but I wish you all the best. Give your daughter a big hug from me, and I hope that I can hear from you again, and I hope this time you'll give me some good news and tell me that you've met somebody great. And yeah, but until then, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe my video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Awesome Quantum.